You can be doing everything right, making progress, hitting goals, leveling up, and still feel like you don't belong. That feeling has a name. And today, we're talking about why it hits Black men so hard. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. What's going on, family? Welcome back to Sana IE. I'm your host, XO. If this is your first time listening, welcome in. Welcome to the show, wherever you at. I just want to thank you for tuning in, listening today. This is week 2 of our Q1 series, The Weight of Becoming. And today's conversation is one that quietly affects more Black male entrepreneurs than we ever admit. And that is imposter syndrome. It's that feeling that you're not as good as people think you are. You're one mistake away from being exposed. You don't truly belong in the rooms you're entering. Your success feels fragile instead of earned. And the dangerous part about it, you can be winning and still mentally strong, but still be feeling like you're losing overall. Today, we're going to break down what imposter syndrome really is, why Black men experience it at a higher rate, and how it impacts mental health and decision-making, and how to start dismantling it without losing ambition. So, first question is, what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is insecurity. It's not the lack of skill, and it's not self-awareness. Imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern which competent people doubt their accomplishments, attribute success to luck, timing, or external factors, live with a persistent fear of being found out. According to the research published in the Journal of General Internal Medicine, up to 70% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. 70%. But here's where it gets deeper. For Black men, especially in entrepreneurial or professional spaces, this experience isn't occasional, it's chronic. And I bet you're wondering why imposter syndrome hits Black men differently. Multiple studies show that imposter syndrome is intensified in people who are underappreciated in their industry, underrepresented in their industry, lack generational access or mentorship, experience racial bias or stereotype threat, feel pressure to represent more than just themselves. And a 2020 study found from Harvard Business Review that professionals of color are significantly more likely to experience persistent self-doubt. I'll read that again for the people in the back. A 2020 study from the Harvard Business Review found that professionals of color are significantly more likely to experience persistent self-doubt, even when the performance metrics are equal or higher than their peers. For Black men, success often comes with added mental weight. You're not just succeeding for yourself, you're succeeding for the culture. You're navigating spaces where you don't see yourself reflected. You're constantly adjusting how you speak, how you move, how you present yourself. That constant self-monitoring creates mental fatigue. And you know what? Fatigue feeds imposter syndrome. Let's talk about the mental health cost of imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome doesn't stay in your thoughts, it shows up in your behaviors. Research from the American Psychological Association links imposter syndrome to chronic anxiety, depression, burnout, perfectionism, emotional suppression. And for entrepreneurs, it often leads to overworking to prove your worth. Underpricing your services, avoiding opportunities, self-sabotage right before success, difficulty celebrating wins. And for Black men, there's an added layer where you're often taught to be strong, not vulnerable, capable, not uncertain, productive, not reflective. So instead of processing doubt, we internalize it. Has this ever happened to you? I know for myself, like all through 2025, man, I was just dealing with this imposter syndrome, feeling like, somebody's gonna figure me out, or I'm not right for this, or I'm one shoe away, the shoe's about to drop on the other foot for everything about to fall apart. But I had to understand that I built this. I built my career just day in and day out, doing the little things, the little habits. And that imposter syndrome is real because eventually it does take over. and it really takes over and it really affects you mentally. And that's something that affected me mentally in 2025 because I was like always thinking about that imposter syndrome or being an imposter myself with all the accomplishments that I made. And for me thinking like, man, did I do all this or was this all luck? And that really just had me in a whirlwind all throughout 2025. But I had to learn, take a step back and really see what's best for me. Is this imposter syndrome? And really account my accomplishments because it's like you accomplish so much that it's like a flash that you don't think it's real. Like, did I do all that? Do I do all this? Like everybody on the outside like praises you, but you internally feeling like, man, am I an imposter? And I think that's what it really came down to. But that's another story. But overall, man, I'm just grateful that I'm able to help you guys and as well as help myself with the imposter syndrome and the mental effects. That's one of the reasons why I came up with this episode for week 2, because week 1 is like building that identity, but we still have to talk about and unpack what happened in 2025 if you were dealing with imposter syndrome like myself. So let's talk about the difference between humility and self-erasure. There's a lie many Black men are taught. You know what that is? Stay humble. Humility is healthy, but humility turns toxic when it becomes self-erasure. Self-erasure sounds like anyone could have done this. I just got lucky. I'm not really that good. I don't want to seem arrogant. That was literally me. Every saying right here is what I was just telling myself all throughout 2025. But here's the truth. Acknowledging your competence is not arrogance. Owning your growth is not ego. Recognizing your work is not disrespect. Imposter syndrome thrives when you refuse to give yourself credit. And that was the biggest thing for me. I was not giving myself any credit. So if you're listening to this today, give yourself a credit, even for the small wins. We have to start celebrating the small wins on our journey to success because the small wins help us stay sane in this crazy world. But celebrate your small wins. Give yourself credit. Stop thinking you're an imposter because you're not. You accomplish a lot. Take a step back and look at everything you've accomplished up to this point in life. You got this. I'm here for you. And like, if you were dealing with it last year or even years before, you still in that process of dealing with it, hey, I'm here to help because I've been through it and I want us to get on the other side of it. And getting on the other side of it is how we start dismantling imposter syndrome. Number 1 is separate feelings from facts. I think that's what it really comes down to. Feelings versus facts. Is this a feeling or is this a fact? Feeling unqualified doesn't mean you are. Write down your accomplishments, your skills, your progress, the problems you've solved. Evidence weakens the lie. Number 2, stop measuring yourself against visibility. Social media shows highlights, not reality. According to a 2023 Pew Research study, over 60% of entrepreneurs report feeling behind when comparing themselves online, even when financially stable. I always like to say comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison distorts perception. Remember that. Number 3 is normalize discomfort as growth. Being uncomfortable doesn't mean you don't belong. It usually means you're stretching, you're learning, you're growing, you're expanding. Discomfort is not a sign of fraud, it's a sign of growth. Number 4, build internal validation. If your confidence depends on external praise, it will always be fragile. Ask yourself, do I trust my work? Do I show up consistently? Am I aligned with my values? Self-trust stabilizes mental health. I'll repeat those 4 back for y'all. Number 1 will be separate feelings from facts. Number 2 is stop measuring yourself against visibility. That social media is everybody's just a highlight reel. It's not what's going on in their real lives. So understand that. Number 3 will be normalize discomfort as growth. Number 4 was build internal validation. It's quarter 1 of 2026. This quarter isn't about proving yourself. It's about grounding yourself. Instead of asking, do I deserve this? Ask, what kind of person am I becoming while building this? Imposter syndrome fades when an identity becomes internal instead of performative. Man, I really hope this episode helped you out. Because as me talking about it, open up, being vulnerable about the imposter syndrome that I went through. Hey, this is my first time opening up to anybody about what I was dealing with in 2025. These last two episodes, I'm just like, hey, let me be more vulnerable about the things that I've went through, because it can help somebody else out. The test that I was going through last year is the testimony for the people that's listening. If success feels uncomfortable right now, you're not broken. You're adjusting. You're learning how to occupy rooms that weren't designed with you in mind. You're learning survival thinking. You're stepping into earned space. And that takes time. As we move through quarter one, remember, you don't need to prove your worth. You need to trust it. With that being said, this is XO, tuning out. Sanae, we back again. Week 2, the way to becoming. And we just getting started, baby. But with that being said, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Wherever y'all at, man, share this with somebody who you think it'll help. With that being said, enjoy your week. We'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. Peace.